Uh-oh.
Okay, welcome back, and we're starting the build. This is the second part of the DC sort of surrogate expansion DC supply for the LWAN pedal board. So right, let's start building and let's start drilling. Now to drill everything and make everything nice and neat, I've got to do a couple of things, right? I've got to use a drill template. I've got to use, I've taped this off so I could draw on things. I've got a nice, precision square here. I've got some rulers, got my pen, and I got all the stuff I need. So I'm going to be able to start to lay all this stuff out. Also, I found this, obviously. I've used these forever for building the Marshalls back in the blockhead days and today. Phenolic boards. And as usual, what I like about, engineers is they like to make things sort of standard. So the hole spacing here is the same, right, as this guy here. So I can actually use this to make everything, the relationship between our tag strip here and all of our standoffs for these little guys the same. So it'll look nice and neat inside. Everything will line up good. It's going to be on the bottom of the box, so you're not really going to see it, but just knowing that it's there will be enough. All right, so this, I believe, will determine pretty much where everything is, because this has to go here. All right, everything else we can kind of squirrel around a little bit, and this distance away from here is determined by this particular little connector, the 2.0mm connector. So it's going to be, somewhere like that. So we can go ahead and, actually we got to turn it this way, dummy. It's going to be somewhere like that. I think that's a good place. Plenty of room there to work around in. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up, right? And I'm using these little bit of Scotch tape to kind of mark it down. And I'm just going to make sure that the cover goes back on without any problems. It does. So that's a good thing. Excellent. All right, so we're going to go ahead and mark these 2 points. Well, actually, we only really have to do one. And then we can flip it over and use the template to mark out the other one so that they're all in a sort of a straight line. So I'm going to go ahead and get a little marker here. And I'm going to mark where I want that one. Right there. Okay? Now we got our drill. And we've got some bits. So we're going to go ahead and drill through the box. And I'm going to turn on the light. Sorry, but this might blow up the camera a tiny bit, but I sort of need to see. I don't know if that's actually better. It might be. Who knows? Sliding around. There we go. Now we're using number 4 hardware, so I'm going to use a little 1/8 inch. This actually feels bigger than an 1/8 inch. And it is. Use an 1/8 inch here. Okay. So we have our first hole, and we'll call this hole the keystone. Right? Like in constructing, you always have one thing by which everything else shall be measured from. And that shall be that hole. All right, so then we can basically line this stuff up, right? And I can grab a grab the bit again. And I can insert it through this, right? And insert it through that hole there to line it up nice, right? And then I can kind of actually this like so. And then I can use my square to kind of get it where I want it. Let me move this more into the frame. So I put the paper there so I would know what's the center of the frame, right? Put this aside so I don't lose it. All right, we're gonna move this back into the center again. All right, so gotta use some double stick tape too. So I'm just kind of feeling it out right now to see what I can do. Might even be a good idea to do this. It's kind of engineering on the fly. These are the screws I'm going to use. They're just regular Home Depot Lowe's crapola. Because the Fastenal don't let you in. And I ain't got time to wait for more screws. So here we go. Right? We can kind of... yeah, that's what we want to do. That's what we gotta did, as they say. Let's go from the other way out. So that way we can still lay it flat, right? Now let's get a little bit of double stick tape to fasten this guy down on, and I've got the spec tape here, which you could get at a variety of places. You can get it at the golf store, or you could get it at the woodworking store. So I'm just going to put a piece here. A lot of places got the spec tape. And it's the best best tape I've found for doing this sort of stuff, right? It really holds stuff down for guitar building, or for anytime you want to fasten a jig to something temporarily. It's a good idea. And then we can use a little bit of our Scotch tape, 2-inch Scotch, to mount, or rather to place upon this board here, right? So that we can mark what holes we want to drill through, so to speak. So okay, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my little pokey tool. You can use a pen too. I got this little guy here. Poke. All right, we'll line this up. Lift it a little bit. Now we can use our square to kind of square it up. I think that's good. And this is now our template for mounting all of our components, right? So we're going to use the, let's use a pen for this. And this is sort of what it looks like in there, right? So we're going to want a hole here. We're going to want a hole here. We're going to want a hole here. And we're going to want one there. All right, so those are for there. Now, when we've got this in place, we're going to want, see when you're kind of working with the voltage regulator, let me turn off the light again so we can see again. Sorry. When working with the voltage regulator, I bend the legs out a little bit so that they fit into the slots. All right, so you just use your little pliers and do a little careful bending. So we put this back down in place. for where we need it. And there's room in there, right? So we can move that around a little bit if we need to. But generally speaking, put it here. Now we can determine where we want our hole to be. Right? Is it there? I believe it is. Right? So we would have at this level here, right? So we can pull this off, and we're going to want a hole here. Let me get my regular pen. We're going to want a hole here somewhere. Where's the hole? Right there. Another one right there. Another one right there. All right. So that'll basically take care of what we got going on. Right. So this will be here. This screw will go in there, and we got just enough lead paid out. I mean, could we get it tighter? Do we want to even go one more in? We could. That would save us a tiny bit of space. You know what? I don't think we need to save that much space. I think it's better to work in there, right? So there's our hole setup. Right, just looking at it again. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and drill this out on the drill press, and then I will be right back. Right back from the drill press. Used a little countersink too, make our holes. We got our tape peeled off, our guide. I don't think we need this anymore, so I'll put it aside. But here are our holes all laid out in countersunk, so that way, you know, when you lay it on the ground, it ain't gonna rock, right? Because we don't want that. Okay. So let's see how we did. I'm thinking too, with this strip, it may be kind of tight with on the sides here, with making contact with the outside case. We'll see. We shall see. But I might use the grinder and grind a little bit of this off to give it a little bit of wiggle room so that we don't end up creating a problem inside of our box, so to speak. But that's it right there. So let's go ahead and I guess start putting it together. Why not? All right, and that way we can we don't have to do the whole thing right away, but we can at least get an idea of where everything is, right? I might have to go get some shorter number 4 screws. Come on, hands, cooperate. I know. All right, so we'll put that there. Let me get my screwdriver. And we're just going to basically, you know, thumb tighten, so to speak, this stuff down. No need to go bananas with it yet. And then we can position everything right how we want it. Let me loosen this up a tad. And try to get it perfectly centered. That looks pretty good. I can thumb tighten again. Now let's go ahead and put in a few more of our screws. And these are basically our ground connections, right? So that's a good thing. We got them ready to go. Oh, I got a bad screw here. No, okay. Here we go. Hello. Yeah, that's the way we need to do it, this way. The hands are not what you would say cooperating as usual, as they usually would, I should say. They usually cooperate. I don't think I got a great night's sleep last night. Some crazy people were outside drag racing with some cars that apparently have the timing retarded so badly that all they do is sound like machine guns firing. I think that's the new thing right now. Is drop the timing back so far when you release the throttle that it just dumps gas into the exhaust pipe with every turn, and you end up with boom, 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 boom on every shift, which is, I don't know, it seems pointless to me to do that, especially the car is probably a turbo car. But what do I know? I just make boxes. Yeah, we might want to do a tiny bit of grinding, possibly, or a little nipping. I think it's okay though. Famous last words. I think that'll do. All right, so then we're gonna put in like a guy like this, right? So I'm gonna take this one off. This one I've already sort of cut and messed with, so I'm gonna put that over there. That's a fillet de Danish. I think I've gone over the significance of the fillet de Danish over the years from the Catskills Borscht Belt comedians. All right, let's get out the magnifying glass because we is blind and see what the hell this thing is. 9 volt. Good. So I'm going to show you how to torque on one of these things. And bend it up nice. So that you can fit it in. I'm going through my toolbox here, just getting out the tools that I should have had out already. Okay. I got my handy dandy little needle nose. So what I like to do is just not bend this way, but place my little needle nose and bend this way. And do exactly what I said I wasn't going to do. Alright? Just like that. So you got a little trident of some sort. And then you kind of figure out where you want the next bend. Right? Which would be somewhere like around there. And you bend that sucker up. Like so. And do the same thing on the other side. Alright, so now we got a good little guy here. Alright, so this can go, need to just flare it out a tiny bit. Alright, and there we go. Now grab a screw. These may be too long. I might have to go to the hardware store again, so to speak, and get some more screws. Well, let's mount this guy on the board. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. So let me use this short guy just for now. It won't be what I use for the build. Alright, get everything in place. Alright, we can bend that back a little bit. Make everything get a good contact. Like so. And that is what we would call one of the units. Right? Nicey nice. Should work out great. Just get this spaced a little bit better. I mean, we could even put it inside the little shafts there. I think this is going to be working out just fine. Yeah. Okay. Good. Alright, so that's an example of one done. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same over here. Bend that back. Bend that back. All right. Make our trident again. I'm going to put this one on this side. Let me get another small little guy screw just as a placeholder. I'm going to have to head out to find some number 4 1/4" sort of taper head screws, whatever you want to call those things. Everything got a name. I just don't know what it is. Alright, so we got that. Go ahead and screw it in a little bit. Turn it around. Probably should have done that first. Get it in place. It's a little fidgety, but can you imagine having to do this inside the box? I wouldn't want to have to do that. So I'm glad that we kind of, where'd that screw go? Decided to build it on the cover plate instead of on the inside there. It's kind of a pain. There we go. There we go. Nice, nice. All right. All right, so we got those mounted in place, and that'll determine where we want this side piece, right? And this is just really a dry fitting. So we're going to want a jack in between there, if I remember correctly. So a jack's going to go in here, right? So we don't want any interference. We want to put this as close to the end as possible, so to speak. So like right about there is good, right? Let's tape it down. Got room for our jack and such. We can pierce our tape, right? And we can mark. We'll use our scribe. Isn't that what that's for? Alright, so that's our next hole to be drilled, where we want that 12-volt regulator to be located. Alright. Let's turn on the light again, sorry. So the old guy can see. Yeah, there it is. There we go. Grab our 1/8. Got to go all the way through, right? There we go. And then we'll countersink that reverse side hole once we get all of our sort of stuff done, right? All of our holes drilled. So I'm going to go ahead and put in one of these little guys, one of these screws, so to speak. Grab a nut, get it in place, get my screwdriver, nut driver, thread driver, Phillips head. Come on, you guy, get in there. Okay, got it started. Now we'll just thumb tighten it. All right, get it in a good spot. There we go. Get ourselves our 12-volt regulator. Alright, we marked it so we would know which one it was. Bend out our leads, make our little trident. Alright, Looks good. Send her in like so. And then we can basically figure out where we're going to put the hole. So I'm going to mark it like an sort of an X, or that's sort of where I want it, right? Right about here. Let me get this marker. So that's sort of where I want it. We'll just double check that that looks good. And it does. So I can go ahead and drill that out to mount our 12 volt voltage regulator, or 12 voltage regulator. Am I doing this in frame at all? Probably not. Let me get this in. Just for all you guys that like to see holes drilled. You just sit there with a big pastrami sandwich and watch some moron drill holes. There we go. I got a vacuum. Bet you didn't see that coming. All right, put this guy in and grab another little screw. And we're going to get it lined up. There we go. How nice is that? Right? Ready to go. There we go. That's pretty nice. Okay. Let's see, where were we? Laying out stuff, right? So we want to put our rectifier in there, right? And we're also going to use this barrel connector as our input, this big red thing, so that we can't mistake it for something else. All right, so that's going to be our inlet. So we could really get this as close as we want, so to speak, to the edge, and that'll leave us our space here to put in our larger filter capacitors, as we call them, capacitors. Let's get a little piece of tape. It's getting hard to really mark. I got tape right here on the aluminum. It's hard for me to see sort of what's going on. I don't know, vote in the comment booth whether you like the desk light on or off. I think it creates a lot of shadows. And then it's an old LED one, and sometimes it starts a blinking, and no one likes that. Everyone hates it when it blinks. So we're going to mark our hole for our rectifier, right? And we can go ahead and drill the guy. Quick vacuum. All right, let me turn off the lamp again. Boink, back to dark. Put away my magnifier. All right, so that is what? The rectifier, right? So we'll peel off our tape. And we can just kind of mount this sucker where it is, right like that. I wonder if this screw is long enough to get through there. We got some more screws that are longer. Too short. Well, being that that's larger, we could probably go with the number 6, right? Give him the old number 6. So we got to widen out a little bit for the old number 6 to go through. See, that's not how you mount a bit. Drill for number 6. There we go. I think I did manage to pick up a couple of specialty screws. Nope, I did not. So we got the number 6, got the rectum fryer going through there. Grab a newt. Let's open up this bag. Get a number 6 newt out of the newt bag. Get it in place. All right. Send her home. Square it up so it looks nice. Ooh, that's nice. Okay. So it's positive, maybe we should go. No, I think that's a good orientation. Put our drill bits all over here so we don't lose them. Got another screw. Now go over there. Okay. Now, back to business. We have all of those guys. What do we need next? These guys. Never mind these little guys. Like this can go here, where we can get it this very close. And we could get this guy right here. Oh, this little guy? Never mind that, this little guy. This little guy's okay. And there you have that, right? So these will be our cap networks. We could even do it, if we wanted to, we could do it this way, I suppose. So we could just bang over. I like this way. Alright, so we'll put them like that. Light on. Just going to go ahead and mark them with the Sharpie. Alright. Good. And there are next guys to be drilled out, little holes to mount our reservoir capacitors, so to speak. How are we doing on time? Feels like I'm taking forever to make this thing. I mean, we're also going to do another kind of like auxiliary power supply box, which I think a lot of people are going to find interesting and useful. I don't know if I already talked about it again, but this is like a little DC breakout box, right, that you can use with a one-spot power supply, and then you can start using some of our Three Monkeys cables, right, to get, instead of that goofy, you know, little Christmas tree seriesed up connector tree, whatever you want to call it, thingy that they got on it. You can use some better cables and make your board look good. All right. The one spot is brought to you by, right? This is like the one spot power connector. It's cheap as nothing. It's putting out 1700 milliamp, right? 1.7 amps, which is enough to run like an analog pedal board pretty good, even with a couple of digital pedals on it. And the general idea was, you know, you can have breakouts like this. So you'd plug your pedal into here, your pedal's playing into here, right? And then you could take some of our, you know, just absolutely stunning looking machine knurled brass, chrome nickel plated brass, made in Pennsylvania by Abitron, our good friends over there, Jim Sitter Shout out to Jim. And then you can use these guys, right? How nice is that? Instead of using that little plasticky connector thingy that they give you with the one spot. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with this power supply. This thing is pretty good. And in most applications, running them all sort of, you know, in parallel with a shared ground doesn't really create a lot of problems. So if you find that you don't want to splurge, like we're talking about, $200 for a power supply unit, but you want your board to look nice, you can go ahead, and I'm going to show you how to make one of these little guys. And you can use a one spot that you can get for like 10, 15 bucks in this thing, and you're off. And you can make a board that looks really good. And it saves space because you're not using a huge you know, box on your board, hogging up valuable pedal space for your supply. So there's another reason to try that out. So we'll be going over that sometime. So now where was I? Oh yes, we were drilling holes. I need my 1/8 inch. Put our other one over there. There we go. Here we're at 24 minutes. So these two guys can go like that, right? And then we'll, you know, be putting the rest of these guys in here. 1, 2, 3 more. And we were going to leave room here for another one of these guys, right? So that'll fit in there nicely too for our 12 volt, or another 9 on the side. 9 on the side. Pretty cool. All right, so I think we've got this part basically done up, right? So let's reserve this with said parts, and then we can look at the cover plate, right? And we can put this away, and then we can start drilling the cover plate and mounting all of our input and output jacks. I think that's what we're going to do. I think we should be able to get that done in a reasonable amount of time, and then we can end this installment and go on to the next, which will be wiring, right? Testing, wiring, explaining, doing all kinds of stupid stuff like that. All right, so what we got here is our box, right? No problems thus far. We want to put in our spots here, so let's reserve this to the side. And we have a center line drawn around the edge of the box. I'm going to continue that center line, right? And then we've got a dead center line sort of under there already. I need to put another piece of tape on top of it. Alright, so this is how the dead center of the center works. Now let's space out our connectors and figure out how we want them to be. So we're going to need, like, let's take out 4 of them to kind of use as layouts. So we could put one here, alright, or we could put one on top of another, or we could stagger them. I'm of the opinion that staggering is how I want to do it. So let's sort of figure out how far apart from one another they should be horizontally, right, to leave room. So I'm going to grab that and get my little ruler here, and I'm going to look at, put the center line here, and it looks like we want to go, let's say we went, oh, I don't know, 5/16. That would be like that. What if we spaced it out a little bit more to 3/8? 3/8 isn't bad. Yeah, I think we split the difference. I mean, there's enough room there, right? Split the difference. All right, so we're going to draw 2 more lines on our box here. All right? One right there. One right there. And we'll come down here and we'll do the same thing. Right here. And right here. Don't. Okay. So we're gonna have one there, right? And then we can put like, let's see how we can lay this out. Right? Dump some more connectors out. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11. We actually can use 13. We want it like that? Nah, let's leave it with 11. All right, that's what we said before, I think, was 11. So the approximate spacing would be to divide these up into thirds. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. We find, let's say that this is the end of the usable box material. Let's say it's 2.5 inches. So we'd want to put one, no, let's not do it that way. Let's make it the same distance as that, right? Okay, so the distance between the two is exactly 10/16. Okay. So right there. Right there. Right there. Do the same thing over here. Right here. Right here. And right there. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It gives us more. We got a lot of them. Let's see how many we got. I think this is what we want to do. Right? Because then if we decide to add some stuff, I'm always thinking about that. All right? What happens if I want to add some stuff? And I just need another out. Better to have more than less. All right? So we're going to go like that. Dope. Oh, this is going to be cool. We can kind of all put them on the same sort of like wavelength there. So how many do we have of these guys left? Do we have another one in here? No. We got 14 of them? 13 of them. So I should have another one of these somewhere here. Where did I hide it? There should be one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Where's my 15th one? Where are you hiding? Well, somewhere around here is the 15th one, right? It's probably staring at me right in the face, but I can't seem to find it. All right, so enough of that crap. Where are we at? 34 minutes. So let's go ahead and we'll just remove these two and do it like that. Do 11 as we were talking about. 12, 13. I might have sucked it up in the vacuum. That's probably what happened. That would be something I would do. All right, so I think that's something I want to do right there. All right. So let's keep measuring these out. Might have even been hiding back there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It was, you guys in the camera probably saw that. Let me count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It was back here. I couldn't see it because of perspective, and you guys must have been like, it's right there, you friggin' idiot. It's good to be the idiot. All right, so where are we? Yeah, I'm gonna cheat. I don't feel like counting anymore. I'm obviously tired, so I'm just gonna cheat for the rest of the day. I don't care. I'm just gonna use the spacing I got right there as the spacing. All right. There we go. All right, flip it around and start adding our that didn't work out correctly at all. What the hell is wrong with me? Okay. Right? Sometimes I don't know what I would do. With any of this crap. I think I got too much on my plate. There we go. All right, let's count them. Tired. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Done. Perfect. And then the big red one is the input. All right, so we could just go ahead now and drill all these guys out. But we also have to mark for the sides, right? For where we want the side guys to kind of go. So let's put the cover in place. And then we can kind of eyeball it because we got some room. right, of where we want the little guy to go. So right around here is this one, right? Use our square. Okay, so that's one side's connector. Flip it around. Let's get this in place again. All right. And where do we want this connector? We want it right there. I can use this piece of tape. All right. And kind of do like so. And I can cheat. Put that where it needs to be. Put that there. All right. Plenty of room. Get that out of the way. Yep, okay. Put the cover on. Spill everything on the floor. And hope I wasn't knocking my head into the camera there, making everybody seasick. So I just built a new camera mount for this thing. And it's a little flimsy. To be honest with you. Okay, and then the last hole is the input, right? So let's grab our piece of tape again. Hang it over the edge. Say that that goes very well, like right there. Transfer it as such. Make sure you got the box orientated correctly. Get it in place. Transfer your line. Get your square. Put it in place. Transfer your line up. Input. All right, so we got input, output, output, outputs. 15 outs, 1 in. Sounds good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start drilling this stuff out and make the holes for all the jacks and stuff. And then in the next episode, we're going to put it all together and start wiring it and see how it works. And I'll show you how that all goes. So once again, thanks for watching all this. And I'll see you next time. Bye.